Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, streaming another live Q&A with you and me out onto the internet, because that's how you're watching me. I don't know where you're watching me, but if you could let me know how you're watching me, maybe take a picture of how you're doing it and tweet it at me, and I'd be happy to retweet and favorite it, and just generally know that I'm not talking to myself here. I'm talking to a camera, obviously. I'd probably talk to myself even if I didn't have a camera. I'm weird that way. This is being streamed live onto the internet. My patrons, aka the Super Nomies, are able to watch the answer to this question a week ahead of the public without ads. Just another bonus I'd like to give you if you become an active patron of mine at chrispirillo.com. The question is, the best tech screw-up of the year. I could have said worst tech screw-up, best, worst. Either way, it's a tech screw-up. And there were so many tech screw-ups over the past year. Where do I begin? Well, I'm going to make this a little personal. Over the weekend, as a matter of fact, yesterday, posted a screenshot, I think I tweeted that myself, of an issue that I was having, specifically with my iPhone and iOS 8. I had rotated the phone into portrait mode, like that, but the keyboard that had been pulled up was still in landscape mode. So, to me, I'm trying to calm myself down before I get really impatient. The best tech screw-up wasn't necessarily Bendgate. I think that got a lot of attention and was kind of overplayed. The best tech screw-up, iOS 8. I really think it was a screw-up. I mean, it works, mostly, sometimes, but blogger after blogger, people who have been in Apple's corner, are coming out every week and saying, we support Apple and everything, but something's changed. So it's definitely not me. This is a big deal. They are the canaries in the coal mine. And you may look at me and say, well, Chris, I'm not having a problem with iOS 8. This must be you. It's not just me. Hell, Diana had the problem the other day, and she thought it was, I'm not kidding, and I'm not making fun of her at all, but she thinks like the average user. She was having problems with the rotation as well, and she said, I thought it's because I kept dropping my phone so much that it screwed up the software. Don't laugh. Please don't laugh, because it's to her, that was like the only possible explanation, because how could Apple release software that is so clearly immature in not every way, but in so many ways? It's death by 1,000 cuts. That's what iOS 8 has been. And I could understand with iOS 7 not really liking iOS 7 at all, letting them kind of flesh out a few of the issues. And I figured by the time iOS 8 rolled around, they'd have a lot ironed out. Unfortunately, they did not. In fact, some things got dramatically worse with iOS 8. Some people are not having a good time with Yosemite either. I think Apple needs to step back and work on a different kind of release schedule for their major OS releases, not necessarily drive them forward when they have a new piece of hardware to release or a series of new hardware to release. It's not that they don't have the brain power. I think it's a lackluster set of quality assurance skills at the top. That's just not Tim Cook's bailiwick, and it trickles down from there. Johnny Ive, I know, is a genius when it comes to design, but I'm not so sure. I'd say that iOS 8 and iOS 7 have been a shining example of what could be done with an otherwise great piece of hardware, and I've slammed other companies for really dropping the ball on the software experience and the service experience, and Apple is walking that same path. So to me, the best, or maybe worst, I think it's funnier to say best tech screw-up, because we all have a different opinion, right? Just because you didn't have this issue doesn't make me wrong, doesn't make me right. It just means you had a different situation. You had a different experience. So even your best or worst tech screw-up of the year 2014, last year now, is probably completely different. But I want to say iOS 8 because so many people are using it. Millions and millions and millions of people are using it. They rely on it. And they're more like my wife, Diana, who thinks that the software bugs only happen because she keeps dropping her phone so much. I want to laugh, but at the same time, I want to cry. Because she's not, she's factually a little incorrect, but in her head, that was the only explanation she could come up with. So I think Apple needs to pick up that ball, and I hope that iOS 9, whenever it's released, or the next version of iOS 8, is not as much of a screw-up. And I see so much sloppiness across the board that it's not what we expect from Apple. And so I'm going to award the best tech screw-up of 2014, not to Apple, to iOS 8. I'm just going to keep it relegated to iOS 8 because I've just had issues that I should not be having. And other people have as well. Glenn Fleischman, I guess to a certain degree, John Gruber. Of course, you may know Marco Arment. These are prolific writers, people who are really invested in Apple's ecosystem. And to me, again, they're the canaries in the coal mine. If they're saying there's a problem, and these are the alphas, it's going to trickle down. I had the same issue with, operating systems from other vendors that shall remain nameless during this video. It's not about bashing. It really isn't. Because I want them to do better. I need them to do better. I think the entire world needs better software. And that's not going to keep me from saying, Apple, that's really your responsibility. At least as far as iOS is concerned. And no, despite the rumor that someone tried to start an Instagram when I posted a little video of the iMac here, Apple did not, this is really funny, they did not tell me to remove the Apple logo from my iMac because I did a bad review. That doesn't happen. It did not happen. They wouldn't even be able to do something like that. That is not why there's no Apple logo on my iMac. Anybody guess as to how I pulled that off? This is not camera trickery. There is no Apple logo on the front of the iMac. Well, that secret is going to stay safe with me, tucked away in this pocket. Hope everybody's staying tuned for the YouTube channel reboots. I know you're subscribed to this channel, obviously. Thanks again for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and watching even more of our videos right now. But the classic channel, the LockerGnome channel, the Chris Pirillo channel, has had Pirillo vlogs for the longest time, and now, come Vlog 1000, the vlogs are moving into their own new channel, and the classic channel, which you may already be subscribed to, is going to be getting geeky videos again. But not just geeky videos, just interesting Chris Pirillo videos. So that's going to include tech and gadgets, things that I find interesting. Yes, toys, beer, food, snacks, fun stuff, tips, tricks. I've got one that I'm working on, fleshing out the idea for how I remove stickers from products. Maybe I'll have to include that. There we go. There's a teaser. That'll be in the CPU series, and that's the only video I really want to produce in the classic channel. Very edited, very upbeat, and very general to Chris Pirillo. A lot of the long-form content, like this type of video, the live videos that we do every weekday, including behind the scenes for CPU, TLDR, the live stream Geek Outs, which we hope to start doing every week, will still happen in this channel. So the Geek Lifestyles channel, very long-form video content, not a lot of editing of the video is going to be happening here. Edited videos, Chris Pirillo-centric videos that are all over the map, not just tech crap, because I'm a geek, but being a geek means more than liking just one thing. Thank God for that. So that will be going on in the classic channel. Just wanted to let everybody know if you weren't already aware. I'm going to go ahead and start setting the stage for today's live live TLDR, the LockerGnome Daily Report, and after that doing a live hangout with the patrons. So at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.